I got 4 yeses, by the way, everyone. So, and what? Thanks, Louis, for sacking me off, mate. It's 4 yeses for my little judge. I remember that. That was mad. Oh, who was your judge? Louis Walsh. Did he? Like, can you believe that? That's how unintelligent people are these days.
Right, guys, we're back on episode 11 of the Edge podcast. We've got Giles with us today, X Factor contestant. He's done really well and he's done a lot of stuff since. So we're going to go through his story and we're going to expose all the behind the scenes of the X Factor, then move on to how he's become a businessman since leaving the X Factor. So great to have you on, Giles.
Cheers. Excited to be here.
So I think the best place for us to start, if we'll maybe take it back before the X Factor. So obviously an avid singer, done very well.
Yeah, I mean, I always liked to sing. It was definitely something I really enjoyed when I was younger.
Yeah.
I suppose just being young, like when I was younger, like the X Factor on a weekend was just...
It was the main thing.
It was the bollocks, mate.
Yeah,
it was the thing. Everybody watched it, and this is before like phones and like the internet. I wouldn't say the internet because that makes me sound like I'm ancient, but like the internet was a thing. But like I was too young to even know
social media
what it
wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah, I think the first thing I had was Bebo, mate. Do you remember Bebo?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Bebo was class. Mine was just full of Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I remember, what was it as well? Like, what was the MSN one? Do you remember that MSN?
I had MSN, and I remember one girl said to me once that she said ILY, and I knew what it meant, and I thought she loved me for real, and she didn't because she had a boyfriend. So yeah, MSN probably fucked with my feelings all the time, but it's a weird thing. Anyway, so yeah, before X Factor, I was just young and just, I like football and stuff, but growing up at school, I was quite like bullied because I like to sing. I thought it was quite out of the ordinary. I think, back in our day, like when you was at school, it was either you played football or you were a knob.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time. Like when you look back on like high school now, it was savage. Like the stuff that went on, like it was absolutely insane. Like how like even like mates would treat each other. Like it was absolute savagery, and like you had to be thick-skinned to get through high school.
Yeah, definitely. I think it depends where you go to school. And obviously everybody's got different stories about their school and how it was for them. But for me, I thought school was just so judgmental. Yeah. Like, I mean, even if you brought a different colour pencil case, you were ripped in for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even bring a pencil case, but it's like, it was just crazy. People were just like, you either had the popular kids and they weren't bullied, but then everyone else was. Yeah. And I just think that's just so wrong.
It was a huge status thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, big time.
And so you didn't like, we spoke earlier, so you weren't like very academic, were you?
No.
So what did you do at GCSE?
Oh, mate, 2 GCSEs. Listen, I'm telling everyone now, I got 2 GCSEs in the ones that wouldn't get you anywhere. I got drama A star and music B. That's it. Not even English, not even maths. So.
And then going from that to obviously doing your X Factor journey, but now being successful in business, like GCSEs don't mean nothing.
I don't even think I can spell GCSE, let alone have one. Honestly, it's weird because I shouldn't really say to like younger people who watch this or anything that you shouldn't have GCSEs. Like, do well in school. I wish I would have done better in school. I haven't just sat here and like for the rest of my life and gone, well, it doesn't matter. It does matter. Like, there's probably stuff that I probably should have learned and stuff, but because of how I was treated at school, it kind of put me back from learning, I suppose. Like sometimes, in English, the teacher would ask me to read out loud, and people would laugh at me. And I just think that's.
Sad really.
It is what it is, but I can't dwell on the past. You should never dwell on the past. If you live in the past, then you're only what's the word I'm looking for? You're only oh my God, you are only affecting your future. Like, so you can't dwell on the past. I mean, you don't necessarily need GCSEs. I've never really needed them.
No.
Like for instance, I wanted, one time I worked at a car sales place. Like it was one of the, first proper jobs I had. And I worked at Nissan. And I remember I didn't apply online. I walked in and I said, can I speak to the manager? And they were like, why? I was like, I just want to talk to him. And then I walked into his office and he's probably thinking, God, someone sold a dodgy car or like there's a complaint. And I said, hi mate, I saw your advert online. I just wanted to know if I could speak to you about a job. And because I was different and I came in, my resume or whatever you want to call it didn't matter. Because he knew that if he put me in front of customers, I'd be able to do what I just did then.
And he's basically, from that first meeting, he's already seen like your potential, like you're personable, you can come across, you can talk to him. He's like, it can deal with a customer. But if you just applied online and sent your CV and he wouldn't have even known that, and then you probably wouldn't have even been considered.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how that would work for like an admin job, but it still probably could go a long way because, you know, people just think that applying online and then waiting to hear something back, you've got to stand out.
Yeah.
And obviously, because I liked music and drama and stuff like that, standing out for me was something that I like to do anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you've got GCSEs and you've done well, you still have to stand out because there's always someone else that's going to have that one more GCSE than you, or that one more A level than you. And that's the same with everything, with wealth, with being in football or whatever. There's always someone else better. So you've got to try and stand out from the crowd. And I think with GCSEs and degrees and all this kind of stuff, like if you want to go to a specific job that needs them, go for it. But for me, like going to college, university, I just didn't need to. It wasn't an option. It just wasn't an option.
And so you did school, GCSEs. How old was you when you went on to the X Factor?
So I was 16.
Okay. So was that year 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Year 11, yeah. And I remember, do you know what? There was an after prom and I wasn't actually invited to it, and I didn't know whether I wanted to go to my own prom because of how I felt about school.
Is this after being on X Factor?
No, this is before.
Okay.
So because of the way X Factor's done, like first auditions, boot camp, judges' houses, it's all filmed before the live shows. Funny story, I actually knew that I was on the show while at my prom.
Right, okay, got it.
Which was kind of weird and good at the same time.
Was you under like an NDA? Could you not say it? Could you not talk about it?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, I think actually I was. I probably signed something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was that long ago. And I was only 16. They were like, do you want to be on telly? Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll sign that. It wasn't just like, read all this thing. I mean, I couldn't even do English, let alone read a big contract like this. I was just like, yes, I'll sign that. Great. I probably signed away my life. Yeah. I'm probably still paying for it now. HMRC probably still pay X Factor like some of my money or something.
Literally.
But anyway, no. I knew that I was already on the show, and my mum forced me to go to my prom. She was like, just go, you know, you'll regret it if you don't go. And I was like, yeah, but I just don't feel like many people like me. And, you know, there's loads of photos on my Facebook that my mum posted of me with people at prom, like having photos. And you know what? I couldn't even tell you who's an actual friend of mine now. They were just associates. And they weren't actually benefiting what I wanted to do in the future. So I suppose at school, most people grow apart. So like if you're at school and you think you got your friends for now, they might not be your friends forever. Don't let it get to you, because...
And that's the same with me. Like my friendship group at high school, there's probably 20 of us, big group. Every single day we'd be out together at night, and I speak to 2 of them now. That's it. Like everyone goes their different ways. Yeah.
I mean, there's only one friend that I would really say that I have from school, and even now I don't talk to him that much, but we still are really, really good friends. And do you know what? He actually benefits me like in my work and stuff like that because of what he does. And like, he's an inspiration to me. I'm an inspiration to him. So it's nice. We can bounce off each other that way. But loads of people from school I don't see. And obviously when I was at prom, like I knew that I was on the show and I wasn't telling anyone, obviously. But yeah, it was just mad. I think one of the most pivotal points for me when I was like bullied at school was basically we had an end of year assembly and at school, I used to do all the productions and stuff. Like I played Oliver in Oliver. I did all the choir stuff, and like because I enjoyed to do it, and that was like my little escape. Most lunchtimes I would spend my time in the music room or eating with the drama teachers and stuff like that. But my head of year, Mr. Walton, I think his name was. I can't remember. Bald head geezer. He convinced me to sing at the end of year assembly. And it was like, man, you've got to show all these people what you're made of. I know you can do it. Like he did PE as well, so he had to be inspirational to get you know, people to do like netball and shit. But like he persuaded me to do it, and I said no. Then eventually I gave in and did it. And I remember as I walked onto the stage, people booed me, and then as I walked off, people booed me, and I messed up the lyrics and everything. And it just,
that's so fucked.
Yeah,
how do you even deal with that?
So I think...
Like, how did that hit you at the time?
It was probably the very low point of my life, being like, I think I was like 14, 15.
And do you know what I think is crazy? that you've got people like that from school that were booing you and stuff, but then you can go on the X Factor, do so well on it, and then you can have the nation applauding you who don't even know you.
I know, it's mad. And I think it was because I tried to do something different that wasn't football or rugby or cricket.
Conventional.
What everyone else was doing. I wasn't, in a sense, a sheep.
Yeah.
And it's like when someone steps out the normal, they're criticised for it. And I just don't get that. Like, what is that about? Why?
Yeah.
And that was really tough to deal with. And like, if anybody hasn't noticed yet, I've got ADHD. Like, I sleep about 1 hour a night, but my mind's always going. But, I love my ADHD. I think it makes me who I am, and I'm very confident. I think that's good. Confidence, a lot of people struggle with these days. And I think that goes well with my work and everything, and obviously being on X Factor. And I was always confident in my ability. I always knew I could sing. And like outside of school, I was doing competitions, winning them. I was doing this thing called Open Mic UK, which was mad. I sang at the O2 loads of times. Nice. Like, always had like people saying that you were a good singer. But then I had all this crowd at school that I had to put up with 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, who were basically saying...
slandering you.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There are some people out there who went to my school who were nice to me and obviously said I could sing, which is nice. And I get that. But it's almost like when you look at a review for a company, there could be thousands of good reviews, but there's 3 negative ones, and then you instantly go, I don't want to do that. And it was that kind of thing, like you listen to all the hate and you put that to the front of your mind rather than the people actually telling you that you're doing well.
Point, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was an annoying part for me, really. And I just remember, like, I think my mum... Do you mind? No, I'm joking. I think at school, my mum says that she doesn't know. Do you know what, right? Me and my mum were chatting about this on Instagram the other day, and I want to read it out because it probably can resonate with a lot of people, because I put up a story about all these years ago I was bullied and stuff like that. Oh, mate, your signal's whack. We're in the middle of Manchester and it's... I'll have to find it and then we'll have to talk about it another time.
We can pull it up on screen.
Yeah. I'll send it to you, but I can't really remember it. And my mum was just like... I'll turn that over because my ADHD will just keep looking at my phone. My mum was like, I'm so proud of you of where you got to today. I mean, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm much further than what I was all these years ago. And she said, if it wasn't for your ADHD, I think you would have been dead. Yeah. Genuinely. And like, suicide's a massive thing, especially in males, and bullying at school and people being bullied and not feeling like they fit in and stuff like that. And do you know what? One thing I always live by, and do you know what? I tell this to a lot of people, like, don't give a fuck about what anyone else says. Do what you want to do. Yeah. If you want to play yo-yos, you play yo-yos. If you want to go and work for, I don't know, ASOS, go work for ASOS. Yeah. If you want to do something, never, ever, ever let anybody else tell you you can't fucking do it.
And I think you've completely encapsulated that. Like, you've been booed, you've had it all at school, but you've still gone ahead, done your own thing with X Factor, been successful from it, and now gone and used that to and leverage that to be successful as you are today. Yeah,
definitely. I think, my mum said that, like, there were countless times I'd come back from school crying my eyes out, sitting on her lap and all that kind of stuff. And she'd be like, she was like, I don't even know if my son's going to wake up, and like, she just said, because of my ADHD and my willingness to prove everyone wrong. Yeah.
That stood you through time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I honestly thank whoever created this world, Jesus and stuff like that I have ADHD, because if I didn't, I don't think I'd be here. And I'm grateful for it. I really am.
And yet you've turned something into...
a negative into a positive.
Yeah,
that's
what
what
a lot
I've
of people
done.
see as a hindrance.
Yes.
And you've used it to your advantage.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I fuck up most of the times. Yeah. Like, my girlfriend will say, you need to calm your ADHD down. And, I'll say things way out of turn. Yeah. And sometimes I'll say things that, like... Even her dad will look up and go, probably shouldn't have just said that. But it's like, we move past these things. I've got my little excuse. I've got ADHD. But I used to take Ritalin back at school, and it used to change me as a person, not for good. Yeah. Like, I used to go inside myself. And
so do you not take anything now for it?
Nah. No way. No way. It would hinder me completely. I work in sales, and obviously in sales, you've got to be confident, you've got to be passionate and all that kind of stuff. And when I used to take Ritalin, I used to... Yeah, because Ritalin was a drug used for people who have ADHD or kids at school to kind of focus. Yeah, because I can't focus. Yeah, like I'll be doing a million things at once.
Yeah.
For instance, if I'm sitting on my laptop and the curtain needs closing,
Yeah.
I will close the curtain.
Yeah, your mind can't stop.
I don't need to close the curtain. The curtain's not going to make me any money.
Yeah.
But it needs to be closed.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just nuts what ADHD does. But yeah, I use it to my advantage. So it's nice. It's nice to kind of step away from that and kind of think about like what happened at school and always staying true to myself, because I think that's a massive thing these days. And do you know what as well, especially with like all these different genders coming out and stuff like that these days, and people expressing themselves a bit more, and feeling more comfortable in their own skin and like feeling like they can be who they really want to be. Yeah. Whereas I feel like when I was younger, it was never like that.
Yeah.
Never like that. Yeah. So yeah, as you can tell, I express myself very like, I don't know what the word is.
It's good though, it's encapsulating. Like, I'm intrigued literally listening to you. I know everyone else watching will be.
I was intrigued by this Tesla thing, by the way, everyone.
Tequila decanter.
This is the bollocks, but it has no tequila in it, so I just don't get it. Like, I asked them if they drank it and they said no, so for me it's pointless, but...
It's a prop.
Shout out to Tesla. Don't get one because their mileage is rubbish. And also they're really like crackly. Do you know what? I actually use Tesla when I'm pitching.
Why?
Because a lot of people will invest in Tesla. It's a good stock.
Yeah.
But like Elon Musk is just nuts.
Yeah. He's temperamental.
Do you remember back in, I think it was 21, he said that he was the first guy to announce that you could use Bitcoin to buy Tesla.
Yes, yeah.
And then the price went whoop.
Yeah.
And everyone was investing in Bitcoin and stuff. And then the next day he tweeted something like it's overpriced and it plummeted. Imagine if you bought in that.
He did it with like Dogecoin as well, didn't he? Didn't he accept? I think he accepted orders on the Tesla store for like stuff like this in Doge, like and like obviously like skyrocketed overnight.
Don't get me wrong, the geezer's a successful guy and I rate him massively. Yeah. But the fact that someone could tweet and like wipe out so much liquidity.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Insanely powerful.
Yeah.
And he even said, doesn't he doesn't have, I was watching a podcast with him a couple of days ago and he says like he has no one vet his tweets. Like anything he puts out, he just sends to a mate. Like, he's like, do you think
what do you think of this?
Yeah, like, and he's like, and his mate like, oh, I don't think you should save that. And he's like, all right, I'll save it to drafts and I might post it later anyway. I don't
Is that why you get your brother to write your emails?
Yes, literally.
Would they go tits up otherwise?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like all those people that you told me about.
The threats?
Yeah.
They got completely ignored. I don't think, and we've touched on it so many times, but so many people saying like, what you're doing is disgusting, blah, blah. And like, for me, I'm thinking like, do you really think I'm going to shut down my business because you've just emailed me? Like, you've achieved absolutely nothing.
It's wasted your time.
Yeah.
Not your time, their time.
Yeah, exactly. You've sat down for half an hour where you could have been productive and made some money.
You are living in their head rent free.
Yeah, literally. So on that, right, let's talk about X Factor. So
yes.
We'll draw it back to this point later on about the hate and stuff that you got from it. But let's go through the X Factor journey and let's enlighten everyone to what it's actually like. So where do you want to start from?
Jeez, man. So it's a TV show. That's all I'm going to say to start with. It's a TV show. So they will have a vision of what they want. And if you don't fit that bill, don't worry about it. So I actually applied for Britain's Got Talent a few times because Britain's Got Talent, when I was younger, you could apply when you were like 1.
Yeah.
But X Factor, you had to be, I think they lowered it to 15 my year.
Yep.
No, 16, obviously because I was 16. And I just made the cut because my birthday's in January, so only just made it through. I knew slightly about the audition process. Now, if anyone thinks that you just go for a judge's audition, wrong. How it starts is you have, like I did, there's 2 ways you can do it, not can do it or do it, is you either sign up and queue outside like everyone else, and then you might get picked or not, or they basically invite people on the show to basically audition for it. Because obviously they'll have what they call researchers.
Yeah.
So like
talent scouts.
Yeah, essentially, it's like we think they could be a good fit for the show. Because obviously with the X Factor, it's all about press, exposure, and if they get more people watching the adverts and stuff like that and what they advertise, they make money. Because that's what it's about. It's not just a TV show. It's a money-making thing.
Yeah, it's business.
Yeah, exactly. It's a business. So I applied online. they said, yeah, you can come and audition. And I queued up outside the ICC in Birmingham. There's probably like a picture you can get from my Facebook. I'll send you it. And like, I'm holding up like this little X Factor flag with my hair in like a quiff and shit. It looks awesome. I was like 16, just waiting outside in the queue. And I didn't think anything of it because I'd done Britain's Got Talent before. I queued for like 8 hours outside. And I thought, you know what, I'll just give it a go. It's better to be here than not to be here. You got to give it a go. Yeah. You got to try. So queued up outside. And then the first bit, we were taken inside and we were just in this waiting room. And then there was like the... Stu was like these big bin bags, and they were like a rectangle bin bag, and they're like, right, you're gonna go in there, and then there's gonna be someone sat in front of you, and you get a yellow slip for like you're through to the next bit, or you get a red slip basically says you're wank, go home. But even then, they let through some people that can't even sing.
Is that just purely for entertainment value?
Yes. Unless the person who was sitting there was
medically insane.
Yes, or blind and also deaf.
Yeah.
Like, they just can't even make a proper judgment. But anyway, so I went into this bin bag, and I am not joking. This person was on a high chair there. Like, and I'm like, okay, this is meant to be the X Factor. Because I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought the judges were going to be there, and you just get to sing in front of the judges. But then you quickly learn that this is not the process. Yeah. And it's a whittling down process, because obviously hundreds of thousands of people audition. Some get through, some don't. And obviously those judges, they are multi-millionaires. Yeah. Do they really want to sit through hundreds of thousands of people? No. So it's the producer's job to whittle it down to the right people. Yeah. So yeah, went in this bin bag. I sang something. Can't remember what it was. And then he just gave me a slip, which was a gold one. So I was through, and I was like, yes. Yeah. Anyway, walk into another room, and they just make you wait for flipping hours, and you are sat twiddling your thumbs, and you never know what's going on. And this is the point where they're not filming people, so there's no cameras around really. There's just a load of producers. You're just in a room with loads of other random people, and it is literally singing going on everywhere, and it's like you can't get away from it. It's like they're warming up, they're doing these rehearsals, and it's nuts.
I bet your ADHD was on fire then.
Oh my God, it was like, fucking hell. Just, I'd woken up really early. Anyway, so then the next bit was you went and sang, you went in a room and sang in front of another producer with 3 or 4 other people. So I did that. You go forward, sing your little bit, and then you then wait outside that room, and then they then bring you in, then they hand you another slip. And then the slip was to come back the next day. Okay. So then I went home, and I was like, right, okay, I'm through. I have no idea what the other rounds are. And then the next day I came back, and then I sat with a researcher. Yeah. And the researcher basically is just like the nosiest person you've ever heard of in your life. And they literally go from the point where you were a fetus to the point that you're at there sitting right in front of them. Yeah. And they just find out everything about your life. And do you know what's really bad? Because I was so proud of myself, I didn't actually tell them I was bullied at school. Yeah. Because I thought everybody goes on, says about X Factor, oh, did you have a sob story? Yeah. Did your cat die, or your hamster got ran over by, I don't know, some geezer in a truck or whatever. But I didn't have a sob story because I didn't think it was necessary. Like I always based myself on being confident and being happy. I didn't want to bring any negativity. I wanted to spread like positive vibes. Yeah. And do you need to talk to him or something?
No, it's
all
not.
Right, cool. I was just making sure I wasn't doing anything wrong. Just wanted to spread positive vibes, love, and just make sure everything was good. And just be happy. Like I didn't want to bring a negative. And I kind of knew if I talked about it, they would probably utilize that more than me actually like being able to sing.
Yes.
So I did. Do I regret it? No. But yes, because would I have gone further in that competition? Maybe.
Yeah.
But then again, would my life be different? Yeah. And I'm actually so happy with where I am at the moment. Yeah. Like, I wake up, like, I've just got back can you tell from the tan, by the way, everyone? It's really nice, isn't it? Me and Jack will compare arms later. But basically, just got back from a 3-week holiday, and my clients are like, oh, are you excited to be back? I'm like, yeah.
Wait, did you say 3 weeks?
3 months, sorry, not 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're not doing yourself justice there.
No, literally.
3 month
like,
holiday.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, so stupid. But that's, like, which we'll talk about later, but, like, the nature of my business, because I can earn money from wherever in the world, and obviously you can utilize Zoom and stuff like that, and, you know, everything's moving online. It's like, I can go on a 3 month holiday because I can still earn while I'm there.
Yes. Yeah,
like, if I wasn't earning, I obviously wouldn't do that. Yeah. And that's nice. It's that comfortability, you know, being able to do that, you know, making a residual income from whatever you do and being able to live a great life. And I'm really content and really happy with where I am. So, you know, if I would have gone third in that competition, would my life be different? Yeah, probably. Yeah. And I think that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Like,
I'm a big believer of that.
With my ADHD, it's really stupid. Sometimes I'll step on something and go, yeah, I was meant to step on that. It's so stupid. But like, yeah, from the day I was born, I was meant to do this podcast with you. Yes. How nuts is that? Yeah. But I didn't know that.
Do you know what, mate? And I think that's probably one of the important things as well. Like what you said earlier about not dwelling on the past, like having that mindset just allows you to accept it and move on, keep moving forward.
You got to take every day as it comes and think for the future. You know, one good advice that I could give anyone is like when you're driving, like if you've not done your driving test yet, and you're going out driving with your instructor, always look 100 yards ahead. Yeah. Don't look right in front of you. Yeah. If you can look 100 yards ahead, think about what you can do with that motto in your life.
Yeah.
Like right now with my investments and what I'm doing, I'm planning for when I'm 30. Yeah. I'm not planning for tomorrow. Yep. You know, I'm not planning what I'm going to eat for breakfast tomorrow because I don't even know that. But I know what I'm going to hopefully do when I'm 30 and putting those plans in place. That's what I quite like about it. But yeah. Anyway, going back to the X Factor thing, so, shit, where were we? So this is my ADHD. I just blab on about something else and actually forget what I'm actually talking about.
So we're on about the researcher.
Yes. So he asked me, his name was Oscar, and he was actually a geezer as well. I liked Oscar, but he was about 7'8". He was massive, massive. And I was only, 5'4" maybe at the time. So like he looked like a giant to me. Yeah. Anyway, Oscar's lovely geezer. He's asked me so much stuff about my family, singing and all this kind of stuff. And then I remember I was then in what we call like the executive producer's audition. And they told me this one you wouldn't get slipped for. Yep. And you would basically just have an audition and then we'd let you know, I think in like 3 months time, whether or not you make it for a judge's room audition. Yeah. So I remember they asked me to sing a certain song called Reet Petite by a guy called Jackie Wilson. Can you play songs over this thing? Yeah, no one, if anyone has heard that song, I will pay you £100 because it's so old. My dad made me, I wouldn't say made me, but brought me up around Motown. Yeah. So like My Girl and like Frank Sinatra, all that kind of stuff. And it was a song that he introduced me to. And it was just so sick. And then I put my own spin on it and the executive producers. Yeah. And this is where I kind of got a good inkling that I was not a favourite, but like liked over other people. They're like, we heard that you did a song in the bin bag audition called Reet Petite. Can you sing it now? When you had to prepare your song. So you were just going in and you were just singing in front of them. It was being filmed a little bit on a little camera and that was it. Yeah. I sang that song and they loved it. Yeah. And I just remember, like, because it was X Factor, I always thought that like it's so cutthroat, so it could bring you up and tear you down just as quick. Yeah. So I went into that, and obviously being 16, I was like, yes, this is sick. But then also my mum brought me down, just to, like, you know, just remember, if it doesn't happen, don't be so beat up about it. You can always audition next year. That 3 months that I waited was the longest 3 months of my life. The longest. And back in the day, I used to ride a scooter. That was my little scapegoat as well. I used to go to the skate park with my friends. And yeah, I remember I was at the skate park and they always used to ring on an unknown number. It's fucking dodgy as anything. Yeah. Like, why can't you just ring on a London number? Because that's where the office was. But yeah, unknown. And I was like, who's this? Pick up my phone. Hi, Giles, it's Oscar. Yeah, I'd just like to tell you that you've got a judge's audition. I was like, yes! Wow. And I was ringing my dad. I was like, Dad, come pick me up. I've got something to tell you. He's like, what is it? He's probably thought I broke my leg or something like that at the skate park. But no, got in the car. I was like, oh my God, Dad, I've got a room audition at X Factor. And it's like all that singing and all that competitions that I did and, you know, the bullying at school. From that moment, I was just like, fucking hell,
Yes.
something's finally
Yes.
happening
Yes.
for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And that sense, not relief, but just like,
Is that
I'm sorry, I swear, but it's just like, it was just such a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
Because all I was dreading, that because they call you no matter what.
Yeah.
And I was just dreading, when I picked up that phone, they were just saying, sorry, you've not made it. And when they told me,
Yeah.
I knew, because of my confidence and believing in myself, and even now, you know, I believe in myself and my business and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because you've got to have belief in yourself. I knew if I got in front of those judges, I'd do my best.
Yeah.
And I'd be able to show what I could do. And it was nice that the producers liked me as well, because those are the people you got to impress.
Yeah.
You know, if you're thinking of auditioning for like The Voice or Britain's Got Talent, those are the people you got to impress. The judges they have a sheet of paper in front of them anyway to tell you whether they give yeses or nos.
Yeah.
It's all directed by the producers because they run the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I got that, you know, that green light, it was like, sick.
It's confirmation.
Mate. It was a badass feeling that was. That was so cool. Like nothing to describe to that. Well, apart from like, you know, when you're at a football game and a goal goes in when you win away. Oh, yes, that's what it's about. But yeah, though, that was just a great thing. And so grateful for that moment. And the fact that my parents could go through that with me, because it's not just you that goes through it.
Yeah.
It's your family. And obviously my mum had seen me bullied. My mum had seen me crying. My dad had seen me upset and, you know, doing all these competitions. My dad invested so much money into my singing, you know, singing lessons, driving me to gigs, paying for equipment.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like you rock up and it's all there for you. You know, my dad invested in me.
Yeah.
So it's not just that monetary thing. It's like that family thing, and it was just a great moment.
The whole family there for the whole journey.
Yeah. So and then after that, I just waited for my audition. Don't think I slept that night. Unreal. And you know, when you meet Dermot and all that kind of stuff, and me and you were just touching on this. And, you know, the cameras were all there and stuff. And then, like, I remember I got there and they're, hi, Giles, how are you? And I'm like, yeah, buzzing for it. So excited. They were like, are you nervous? I'm like, oh, do you know what? I was never nervous. I was really. I was never nervous, but I never used to show it. I used to be confident and just be, you know, myself and just be so excited and up for it. Never used to let the nerves get the better of me. And, yeah, when I got there, they just took me straight off for filming. And we were talking about this just a second ago. This is how stupid it was. Before it even auditioned, they filmed me, my mum and my dad walking up the side of the ICC arena and was like, right, I want you to, they were like, right, we want you to, like, what will your mum and dad pretend you've got through? And I was like, but I don't know what that feels like. So it's like acting instantly. So like me and my dad's got his arm and I go, well done, mate, well done. And I was just thinking, this is just a load of bollocks because I've not even got through yet. And and then they said, right, now do one where you didn't get through. And we had to like act sad. And I'm like, but I'm not sad because I'm at X Factor. So why are you, that's like, so they just like to get in your head and like play all these different emotions and shit. It's just.
It's a roller coaster.
Hey. Roller coaster. And I was 16 as well. So like all I cared about was getting in there and singing. I didn't care about all this like filming and stuff. And then you do your bit where like you film the camera like, hi, I'm Giles, you know, I'm 16 from Worcester and I sing and all this kind of stuff and, you know, I play the kazoo in my spare time. But, you know, you do all that kind of stuff and then you do all your B-roll as well where like you're sitting on the case like the black case and you got your headphones in, you're pretending you're listening to your music and they tell you what to do. It's very scripted and like what they want. But I suppose it's a TV show and that's just how it is, you know. EastEnders, they wouldn't write a script if they had one. They'd just be like, right, this is the scene, crack on. You know, they've got to have a script, otherwise it would go to, you know, it just wouldn't look that good. But so I remember when Dermot came over. Do you know Dermot O'Leary is small as anything?
Yeah, I've
and
seen
his
him.
missus is massive. Oh God, we're all the same size in bed though, so it's sound. Anyway, so yeah, I got a really small girlfriend. Well, actually no, because she'll watch this and she'll think that's really rude. She is smaller than me, obviously, but yeah, Dermot O'Leary. He's tiny, man.
How tall's he got to be? Like,
well, I reckon he's about 5'5".
it's a bit painful
For a bloke that small, innit?
That. At least, but he's Dermot O'Leary. He can run off that. He can vibe with that.
He just be able to speak his way out of anything. Anyway, so Dermot, he when he came over and he knew my name, I was like, O'Leary knows my name.
Celebrity already.
But, you know, he's just been chatting with the producer, actually, just like, you know, he obviously knows my name anyway because he's coming over to talk to me. And he's just chatting to me about, you know, my audition and stuff. And it's just, it goes like that.
Yeah.
It happens like that. And you're like so in the moment and you're so like, fuck, this is mad.
Yeah.
I'm actually on the X Factor and I'm talking to Dermot O'Leary and he's asking me what I'm singing and stuff.
Yeah.
And all I've done from a kid is just watch him on telly.
And dream of that moment.
Yeah.
That must be heavy hitting.
It's weird. It's just weird. And you know, everyone looks so different like they do on telly.
Yeah. Had you always been like, so from a young age, had you always sort of had you convinced yourself that this was going to happen one day? This would all happen?
I'm going to audition for X Factor. As soon as I turn 16, I'm going to audition for it.
Yeah.
And you know what's quite nice? The fact that I know countless people who've like auditioned and not got through. Yeah. I did it once and got through.
Yeah.
And it was just that everything you dreamed of, and it just happened.
Yeah.
And it's happening, and you're like, this is sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then do you know what? That first audition, and I'm pretty sure you'll probably play the clips and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah, we're definitely going to be playing the clips. And
yeah, I was a fetus at the time. I look much better now. I got a big beer belly and stuff. But just don't judge, okay? My hair was slicked back and everything. I probably put Shockwave in it. You know, that was the goat of all hair gels when I was younger. Anyway, but no, like that audition and I got 4 yeses, by the way, everyone. So, and what? I got 4 yeses and that was the best feeling ever. It was mad. And I managed to get Gary Barlow to sing back to me.
Yeah, I've seen it. So we need to get everyone, take a moment to actually go and find the clip now and watch it.
Giles Potter, room audition.
Because we've got some questions, key questions that are going to follow later.
Anyway, so yeah, just like I walked in. I remember the producer, like at the door before I went in, she was like, go in there and I want you to tell Nicole that you really love her and you've always wanted to meet her. And I just went, I'm not saying that because that's just not something I would say. Because they try and make you do things that you wouldn't normally do. Yeah. And I reckon if I said that, it would be so unnatural. Yeah. But then what I did when I went in was just so unnatural anyway. I walked in and I went, oh, I've been waiting for this moment for my whole life. And I was just like, yes, I have. But when I watched that back, I just felt, oh God, I can't believe I said that. I just looked like a right idiot. But I was so nervous, but I tried not to show it. And I just remember seeing them there. Louis, Sharon, Nicole, and Gary. And it was just nuts. Like, it's just weird. Like, you're in a room like this big, and they're just there. And you're about to sing in front of them.
What was the pressure like at that moment?
I was shaking like a shitting leaf, mate.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Shitting dog.
Shitting dog. I was just shaking.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Like, and it went by so quick. Like, even now, I can't really remember it. Yeah. Because it went by so quick.
What was it like, the one question I've wanted to know? Nicole Scherzinger, looking at you, doing this. How did that feel?
Babe, I'm really sorry. It was unreal. She's a very, very beautiful woman, obviously. And she looked the same on camera as she did in person. She's a good looking woman. And obviously being 16 and having that, I was like,
oh yeah, you had every like young lad's dream right there.
She called me something called Jai Jai.
Yeah, so we've got that up there because I was gonna introduce you as that.
Do you know what's funny? I actually trended on Twitter with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually trended on Twitter with that. She called me my little Jai Jai. And it's really funny. At first school, excuse me, sorry about that. At first school, people used to call me Jai. That was my nickname. So it was weird that she called me Jai Jai. So yeah, and I trended on Twitter with that. But yeah, it's mad.
That's a claim to fame.
It's 4 yeses for my little Jai Jai. I remember that. That was mad. Oh. Yeah, she's fit, isn't she? She is.
Top draw, mate.
Yeah, but she's probably had a load of work done and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely now.
If you're watching this, Nicole, sorry about that comment, but you know.
Don't hesitate to hit him up though if you're still interested.
No, because I got a missus now and I love her. She's nice. You're probably too busy for me. Sorry. Now, no, in all seriousness, all the judges were lovely, but you don't see them as much as what you might think.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks you get so pally with them, but you don't. You just see them when you need to see them. These guys are multimillionaires. You know, they have security guards and everything. Yeah. They see these people countless. Well, they don't anymore because X Factor's not on. But you know, they see these people all the time, and randomers, they don't know what they're like. Yeah. You know, it's a very, very weird thing.
Did you have? Is there any sort of any of the judges that you actually did build a relationship with?
No.
Just not enough time with them.
Not really. No. They, to be honest, and I will be really blunt, they don't overly care about you that much. Yeah. You know, they're without the X Factor judges, what do you have on that show apart from the people that are singing? It's the judges do make it. You know, obviously, when they do the shows and stuff, there's all people out there getting pictures with the judges and stuff. And, you know, when they used to walk on for the live shows and stuff, it'd be like, you know, Simon, Sharon, they'd be like, woo! So it's like, you know, these judges are what makes the show. They're celebrities. They're going to instantly attract more people to watch it. And then eventually people then fall in love with the characters on the show. Yeah. So that's just the way it is. And, you know, these people are busy people anyway. Yeah. So, you know, to take that time out of their lives to do this show, it's, you know, they got to be paid top dollar. Yeah. So I wouldn't say, from my opinion, they care about you that much. Maybe in live shows, which I didn't get to. So thanks, Louis, for sacking me off, mate. Still hurting today, but you know. Anyway, I think you probably make more of a relationship with them when you get onto live shows. Yeah. But no, I wouldn't say I made a relationship with... I mean, Louis actually invited me back to go and watch a show. Yeah. I did have his number at one point. I wonder if I still do.
That's going to be interesting.
Well, you know how iCloud works and it saves all your contacts and stuff. So I got some weird stuff on here. No, I haven't got his number. I did, though. And I text him. You wouldn't believe it, though. He didn't say top of the morning to you when he answers his text. But no, he's a really nice guy. But he's been on the show a long time, and obviously he's met so many people. So he invited me back. I watched one of the live shows. I went in his dressing room.
Good experience.
And he said, it was between you and one other, Giles. That's what he said. And I know who it was. Yeah. But, you know, I'm not still hurting about it, but it is what it is. Yeah. We'll go into judges' houses and that's some good stuff. Juicy. But yeah, he invited me back, and, you know, I met him and stuff. I went in his dressing room. Not what you think, because everybody says that. Do you know, can I say what people say? Yeah.
Go for it.
People go, did Louis bum you? That's what people say. Oh, who was your judge? Louis Walsh. Did he bum you? That's the fucking instant thing that people say. What is that about? Like, can you believe that? Like, that's how unintelligent people are these days. They go, did he bum you? Not, you know, was he a nice guy? Or did he help you? Did he improve your singing? Did he bum you? If I had a tenner for every time someone said that, I'd be a millionaire. I'm being serious. I'm
so gone.
That's what people say. That's funny, man. So, yeah. No, he didn't. And when I went into his dressing room, no, he didn't then either. But, yeah, because people say he's gay or something. I mean, I don't know. I didn't ask him that. Yeah. But, no, all I remember is his teeth were unreal and he smelled amazing. He must have his own perfume or something.
Is that when you were, like, hugging him and he was...
No, because actually, this is skipping forward a little bit. When we went to judges' houses, no, I'll save that bit. But basically, I sat next to him once, and I just remember this aroma coming off him, and I was like, man, you just smell like you got fucking money. And he does. And that's the thing, yeah. He just smelt rich and just smelt amazing. And yeah, I didn't ask him what he was wearing because, like, I could afford it at the time. I was 16. Yeah. I'm lucky if I get, like, a Link set for Christmas. But, you know, it's those judges, because you see them on telly all the time. It's, like, surreal being in front of them. And they're so used to just seeing so many random people. You think they don't care about you, but... There was one judge that cared about me, which was Gary. And so after my room audition, I got 4 yeses. And then I went advanced to another audition, which was at Wembley Arena in front of 10,000 people, which is one of the biggest places I've ever sang in front of, which was just, Wow, unbelievable. I messed it up. I sang a bad song. It didn't go to plan, but you know, it is what it is. But Gary came behind the stage and he was just like, mate, you're a massive contender in this show. Like, you need to really take it seriously and stuff. And I don't know why he did that. But to this day, I know now why. It's because he obviously thought that I wanted to sing just upbeat songs all the time, because that's what I like to do, upbeat. I didn't like to sing depressing songs, so I thought they were boring. But then on those kind of shows, it's those songs that really get the public. When people don't really care about me singing, you know, Treasure. They're like, right, next, come on, we want someone to sing 1,000 Years by Christina Perri, because it's like, you know, depressing and it's more emotional. And I think that's what I probably should have gone for. I think if I chose my songs a bit better, I probably would have gone through. But then again, I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm happy where I got to.
So after the arena performance that you did, what sort of happened after that?
So after the arena, you then move on to boot camp. Boot camp is essentially a place where you would go. I've got a really bad itch. Hang on. There we go. Boot camp is a place where you go back to the arena and you're in, I would say, a whittled down kind of category. And this is then where you'd find out who'd be judging the boys, the girls, the groups, the overs, all that kind of stuff. So to start with, we were told that we were all to line up outside of Wembley Arena, and we were in our big groups of the boys, girls, groups and overs. And then a car with blacked out windows would pull up in front of your big group of people. And then whoever got out was your judge.
Got it.
And then I remember, I can't remember who was who, but Louis was our judge. And he came out and then we all ran to him and stuff, and that was all filmed. Then after that, we had a briefing of how it was going to go. Now, this is mad, and I remember this. So I always knew boot camp where it was, you would sing in a group, maybe 3 or 4 of you. And then you would then sing on your own. And then so after the group, it would be whittled down. Then another round would be you sing on your own. And then after that, you would then long line. And if you step forward, got told to step forward, you were through the judges' houses. Our year was different. And no one saw this coming, no one. So we first did the group thing. And we were all staying in the Premier Inn. And you stayed in the same room as like the lads that you were with. So I was with a guy called Tom Mann, and also a guy called Barclay. Shout out to Tom Mann, he just lost his wife recently. So yeah, big love to you, mate, and I hope you're okay if you ever watch this. But I remember I sang with them and we sang Treasure by Bruno Mars. And you all had your part that you'd sing, and then you were told there and then whether you get through to the next round. And this next round was the 6-chair challenge. We never knew what this was. They had literally just made it. Now, the 6-chair challenge is the scariest thing I've probably ever done in my life.